We are so glad that you are here. Oh, now you can hear me. I'm so glad. The words for our songs are up on the screen above my head and back there. You are so welcome to sing along. It's actually a lot of fun. Here we go. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I invite you to stand for our final song, to join us in singing. It doesn't matter if you know it or not. You can just groove. You can sit in your seat and groove. Whatever moves you, that's what we're here for. A better place. We are so glad you're here.
We'll live together and love forever. It's the only thing that you can do. Well, hold my hand and by me stand. We're gonna make it through. Freedom and justice, it's the melody that let us shine on. If you feel it through the music, we can world a better place. We'll fight for freedom and fight for justice and hold on to what is true. We'll keep the faith and love will win. We're gonna make it through.
All together now.
Freedom and justice is the melody that let us shine on. If you feel it through the music, we can make this world a better place.
Tell us about it, John. Sing along.
Freedom and justice is the melody that let us shine on. If you feel it through the music, we can make this world a better place. Freedom and justice is the melody that let us shine on. If you feel it through the music, we can make this world a better place.
Welcome to church.
Good morning and welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Oakland. My name is Evelyn Seidman and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. Here at First Unitarian, we believe that the holy is found in all of creation and that it's how we live out our values in the world that is our saving grace. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whomever you love, and whatever your struggle or your hope, you are welcome here. If this is your first time here, please fill out a guest connection card and leave it in the offering plate as it passes by so that we may learn your interests and keep in touch with you. If you want to learn more, please meet with Emily Stoper down here in front of the chancel after the service for a brief introduction. And the community connection, if you're interested in membership at the First Unitarian Church of Oakland, the Community Connections team invites you to Exploring Membership next week, October 15th, after the Sunday service in the Star King room, which is the left front room in the first floor of the church. It is a chance to get to know each other better, learn a bit about our church and congregation, and discuss what it means to be a member. If you have already been participating and feel ready to join, we will have the membership book there available to sign. If you have recently joined our church, in 2 weeks, we will have a new member in-gathering worship service on October 22, where we formally welcome new members into our congregation. For more information, stop by the welcome table during coffee hour after the service. And my last announcement is today, our Journey Toward Wholeness Transformation team will hear from 2 longtime members on this year's Journey Towards Wholeness theme of othering and belonging. Lila Ibrahim and Suzanne Van Houten will speak about their experience of being persons of mixed heritage in our congregation. We will meet after this service today from 11:45 until 1:15 in the Star King room. A light lunch and childcare will be provided. All are warmly welcome to participate in our ongoing exploration of how to build beloved community and deepen our commitment to counter all forms of oppression. And the book that we've been reading is called Mistakes and Miracles, Congregations on the Road to Multiculturalism. So recommend the book. Thank you.
Thank you, Evelyn. And I'm happy to introduce our third floor tenant, Susan Stevenson, who's the Executive Director of Interfaith Light and Power. So let's give her a warm welcome.
Thank you so much, Laurel. Thank you for welcoming me today. I'm Susan Stevenson, Executive Director of California Interfaith Power and Light, as Laurel said. And we are sharing the third floor with the administrative staff, with the staff of the congregation, and as of August, so just been a few months, and we are so pleased to be here. I just wanted to quickly tell you a little bit about our organization and also invite you to our open house this week. So California Interfaith Power and Light works with congregations of all faiths all over the state. We have more than 720 member congregations, all committed to take action on climate. That could be through education, through greening their facilities, or through policy advocacy. More recently, in the past few years, we've also been working with faith communities to equip them to be resiliency centers. And what does that mean? That means helping their communities to weather the physical and spiritual storms of climate change that we know are coming and are here. So the three main things we've been doing for that project is solarizing houses of worship, equipping them with backup battery, and air filtration. And I've been really happy to work with First Unitarian Church of Oakland folks on perhaps getting some funding to equip this very facility as a resiliency center. Fingers crossed. There's lots of good government funding coming out thanks to the IRA that passed last year, the Inflation Reduction Act, and we're working to make sure our congregations get access to some of that funding. And then just quickly, I wanted to invite you all to join us on Thursday at 5 o'clock out in the courtyard. We have been authorized to have a little celebration, open house celebration, and that'll be from 5 to 7. We'll have appetizers and some beverages, and we'll have tours of our office too. So that's Thursday at 5 o'clock this Thursday. Please join us. There are flyers out in the vestibule if you'd like to pick one up, so you can remember to come. And there's also a sign-up sheet if you'd like to get on our list and find out more about Interfaith Power and Light and how you can get involved. Thank you so much.
We acknowledge the land and the peoples who belong to this land, the Lishan Ohlone peoples. Our church institutions and homes are occupying their lands that were stolen from the Ohlone peoples, who have an ancestral relationship with the land, the plants, the animals, and the water. Their relationship has lasted for millennia and continues to the present day. The Ohlone people are still here, and the Ohlone ancestors in spirit and of the land are still here. In solidarity with all indigenous people and their right to self-determination and justice, we commit to working towards accountability of the theft, dispossession, and resulting trauma that Native peoples continue to face. We commit to being active partners in restoring the sacred relationships between indigenous people and the land that was stolen from them. May we support the work of rematriation that's being done by the Segurate Land Trust, the first urban indigenous women-led land trust in the country. So may we live.
Good morning. I'm Debbie Kaplan, Worship Associate today, and we will now read the opening chalice lighting. This is from Pat Uribe Lichty, and it's called We Will Be Renewed. We come together with our tired minds and bodies, with our confusion and questions, our uncertainties and our fears. We come together with our hopes, with our pasts and our ideas, our passions and our faith. We come together bringing all of who we are, trusting that in gathering we will be renewed, and that together we can create the world we long for. As we light the peace candle, I'm reading from Desmond Tutu's 1984 Nobel Peace Prize lecture. God's shalom, peace, involves inevitably righteousness, justice, wholeness, fullness of life, participation in decision-making, goodness, laughter, joy, compassion, sharing, and reconciliation. We say together, peace is possible. The words for lighting our Black Lives Matter candle are from Maya Angelou, from I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. The Black female is assaulted in her tender years by all those common forces of nature at the same time that she is caught in the tripartite crossfire of masculine prejudice, white illogical hate, and Black lack of power. The fact that the adult American Negro female emerges a formidable character is often met with amazement, distaste, and even belligerence. It is seldom accepted as an inevitable outcome of the struggle won by survivors and deserves respect, if not enthusiastic acceptance. Together we say, Black Lives Matter. Please join me in our call to worship. In one voice, we say, let us worship together.
And rise for our opening gathering song, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Good morning. So a time for all ages means all ages. And today is going to be a body-centered thing. And I invite people of all ages to come on up. Anybody of any age, there's some movement. And I know we've got some families, so I'll show you exactly where to come up. Okay, so if you're alive, you have a body. And if you can hear me or see me, you have consciousness in that body. So I'm gonna invite people to move as they feel comfortable or to imagine that movement in your body. So just kind of start wiggling your toes a little bit. Maybe imagine being on a beach and grabbing the sand with your toes. And then maybe the waves come in and get your ankles wet a little bit. Ooh, it's cold. Oh, feel that cold? Give that little shiver. Give your body a little shiver. Ooh, there's so many experiences in life. Okay, and now, oh, there comes the sun. Imagine that sun just radiating down over your body, feeling that warmth on your skin and your shoulders. Maybe even hold your hands up to the sun, or imagine your hands holding up to the sun and just kind of breathe in. Breathe in again. Give a sigh. And one more. Breathe in. And just pause for a second and let the tingling of the vibration of life in your body fill your space. Your body is good. Every single part of your body is good. And a clap. And 2 claps. 2 claps, 3 claps. Thank you for playing. Now we're going to sing the children out to some activities. You go now in peace. Go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you.
Today's service is so full that what I would request is that while the Crescendo choir comes up to sing our next song, that you greet one another still seated and maybe answer the question, if you were a weather system, what weather would you be today? So share with your neighbors.
But good morning to those on Zoom.
Hey.
Hey,
Wow, it's a nice big group here today.
bringing in the nice gentle breeze.
Right.
Customize
Good
everybody,
morning.
to acclimate everybody from last night and yesterday's heat. Sort of concentrated Bay Area summer in October.
I know.
We get us used to becoming normalized temperatures.
Okay, folks.
Exactly.
And now
well, good
enjoy
morning.
our
Oh.
own
Oops,
Crescendo
that was it
choir
already. Well, good morning, everybody. Great to see all
Good
you.
morning.
Song for us.
Good morning.
Is there any sound yet? Oh, they are talking. Okay. I really don't know. There doesn't mean anything. Does that? What's that sound? Please mute.
I want to talk about what it's like to live in a body that most people don't think is normal. I'll start with a memory from growing up as a non-disabled kid in mid-20th century white America. I remember that starting in elementary school, I was aware that there were kids with disabilities who were in a different part of the school building, who had recess and lunch separately from us. This was never talked about. We didn't get to know them as students or friends, and all of this reinforced the common stereotypes about people with disabilities, that they were stupid, weird, somewhat scary, and very different. When I became disabled from a spinal cord injury when I was 22, one of my first thoughts was that I had become one of them. And it was true. Having gone through a really rapid identity transformation in such a short time, the contrast was stark. It was very clear that I was treated very differently by people I didn't know, as well as by some who did know me. When I started to spend time with people from the newly forming disability community in Berkeley, one group of close friends delivered an ultimatum. Either I stopped hanging out with disabled people, or they would stop hanging out with me. We parted ways. Strangers on the street didn't have to say anything. Their body language and facial expressions made it clear, still make it clear today. Some look away, some pull their little kids close, some wear an expression of regret and pity that they want me to see, as though this would be appreciated on my part. I do want to acknowledge that now more people treat me like anyone else, although some also want to make a point of it and do it in a sort of exaggerated way. I'm not sure what I think of that. Well, I do. I've been stopped more than once by people who asked me if they could pray for me. Oh, yeah. Or people who say, God bless you, but it's just to me. It's pretty relentless. I experience something negative most days. Partly, I know I'm more sensitive to it. I probably pick it up more than most people would. If this makes you wonder, by the way, how should I react to somebody with a visible disability? I mean, the answer is just the same as anybody else. When I was a 22-year-old woman without a disability, I also received my share of appreciative looks, smiles, and other flirtations. When I became someone with a visible disability, that stopped. I didn't need that explained to me either. Since I had grown up in the ableist culture of my time, I understood that people with disabilities were not and could not be attractive. It took a few years within the disability community to come to see people with disabilities as sexually attractive myself. My point is that one of the experiences of people with visible disabilities is that you're neutered. In our commercial culture, where beauty is a way to sell things, disability is the opposite of beauty. And that gets reinforced in advertising all around us. One of the most harmful aspects of ableism is that we as disabled people are taught to be ashamed of ourselves and our bodies. People cover up their braces, limbs, scars, and other features that are commonly regarded as imperfections, misformations, and uglinesses. People stare and express shock or disgust. This cultural expectation of shame about disability is a major reason that people are uncomfortable with themselves, unwilling to be associated with other people with disabilities, and refuse to use adaptive technologies such as visible hearing aids or wheelchairs because they want to avoid the omnipresent public stigma. It keeps people away from being able to function better and from all the benefits of joining a community of people who share experiences and values. For those of you who know me, you might be familiar with the image I like to project: strong, resilient disability rights warrior, successful leader, et cetera, et cetera. And there's truth to that. And at the same time, it's hard to feel good about myself when the culture I live in still regards me as intrinsically flawed, unattractive, and easily dismissed. Granted, the culture is changing, and I am so proud it's part of some of the work that I've done. But if each of us has an inner critic, mine gets validation from people I don't know every day. It hurts me emotionally, and it clips my wings. I can't say honestly that I exuberantly love my body. Disability activism has always been a form of therapy against all of this for me. Confronting the social wrongs that are based on ableism reinforces my inner positive voices. Working in solidarity with other disability activists, we share a common love for ourselves and our disabled bodies, and that's carried us through so much. Our bodies have such resilience. When I first became disabled, I realized I am much stronger than I ever thought. and that goes for my body as well. I've survived all sorts of injuries, illnesses, accidents, and I'm still here. So, thank you. So I'm actually in awe of this body, and I'm so grateful. I feel like, bring it on. But no. I don't really mean that. I've mentioned the term ableism a few times, and for those of you who really aren't sure what that means, let me offer an explanation. Ableism is treatment of people with disabilities based on the assumption that they're less than others. It can include believing people with disabilities have less value and less worth, assuming they want to be healed or can overcome a disability, suggesting they're inspirational for handling everyday activities and routine tasks, assuming they lead an unhappy, limited life, assuming they can't do things themselves, using words like normal and healthy to describe non-disabled people, asking intrusive questions about someone's disability, touching someone or their equipment or devices they use without permission, ignoring requests for accommodations or refusing to acknowledge someone's disability. Refusing to use the terms someone requests, like deaf person, neurodivergent, or wheelchair user. How can we get better at recognizing and removing ableism from our culture here at UU Oakland? Well, that's a sermon for another day. In this place, though, with this community, my dream is to fully be myself and be welcomed and loved as I am, disabled body included. I can't say that's always the reality, but this is the community I choose to work with on our internalized ableism together. It's in me too. It's brave to challenge ourselves to feel better about our bodies with all the different ways we have been made to feel less than others or shame. Most disabilities are not visible, and I know there are many within this community who have also been hurt by the social pressure to appear perfect. The work is internal and external. There is more we can do to be more welcoming to people with all types of disabilities. And I know there are conversations happening now about how to do better. For instance, making sure the slides for Sunday worship will be more legible and that people have many ways to follow the service and music. And since disability and poverty go hand in hand, the work we do to support and raise up the community beyond our walls can more deliberately consider people with disabilities and ensure they benefit from our work. I'll close with a quote from my dear friend, Judy Heumann, who I still really, really miss. When other people see you as a third-class citizen, the first thing you need is a belief in yourself and the knowledge that you have rights. The next thing you need is a group of friends to fight back with.
We love you, Jenny!
This is why I come to church. The month of October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month, Filipino American Heritage Month, and LGBTQ History Month. And each of these is important in this congregation. Something else important is happening this afternoon, which is that we at Piedmont Gardens will be holding a memorial for longtime and beloved member Carol Byrne. Her husband, Bruce, and Carol, I remember, used to be dancing in the chancel sometimes on Sunday mornings. Carol passed away on August 30th, and Bruce passed away a week ago on September 30th. So the memorial actually will be for both Carol and Bruce. One of the things that they did that is a tangible legacy is that they are the ones who paid for Sherry Prudhomme to write the book, Gather the Spirit, which you can get a copy of, that tells the auspicious history of this congregation. Memorial donations can be directed to their beloved congregation. And so as we bring our joys and sorrows and our memories and concerns into the embrace of this community by speaking them out loud, may we know that this is a place where we belong, that we don't have to do it alone. In embracing meditation. Carol and Bruce. For all that's been spoken out loud, and for those tender thoughts that may remain in the sanctuary of our hearts, may we say together, we hold them in our care. And now I invite you into a moment of centering silence, followed by a pastoral prayer. Great mystery, known by many names. Gaia, Father, Mother, Yahweh, Spirit of life, divine spark, mystery beyond all words, beyond all naming. Luminous light and dazzling dark, connecting us with all that is and all that was and all that ever will be. That wondrous love, flowing, glowing, radiant within each of us, flowing between us, among us, and beyond us. We give thanks for this day, for the gift of our breath and the gift of being together in this community. As citizens of Oakland and of our country and of the world, we are aware of the suffering and the violence. The new violence erupted in Israel, the ongoing war in Ukraine, and so much more. May we still persevere in our commitment to build the world we dream about, and may we be kind to one another, knowing that all of our hearts are tender. And may we recommit ourselves to accept life's gifts with grace and gratitude and use them to bless the world in the spirit of love. Amen. This body, this breathing, this light surrounding, this body, my body, your body, all of our bodies, in all shapes and sizes, all ages, colors, abilities. All of our bodies are sacred. This is our Unitarian Universalist theology. As I talked about last Sunday, we hold that it is this earthly life, this earthly world, these bodies that are the dwelling place of the sacred. Yesterday, after I read Debbie's homily, here's the response that welled up inside of me. It's a song by Livy Roderick, and if you know it, would you please sing it with me? The slide will show the words. How could anyone? Debbie, this is for you and for all of us. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is miracle? How do you're connected to my soul? So this is why I come to church. And this is why I became a UU minister. Because in weaving the tapestry of love we call community, we are connecting to one another's souls. We are holding up a mirror to one another that affirms our worth and our dignity so that we can learn to experience ourselves as beautiful and whole. I think that all of us are what Carl Jung called wounded healers. All of us come into this community wounded by something or someone, both internal and external wounds, wounded by ableism, racism, sexism, ageism, colonialism, classism, cynicism, homophobia, transphobia. And these woundings are personal, and they're traumatic, and we carry our wounding in our bodies. I imagine that many of you have read or know of the book by Resmaa Menachem called My Grandmother's Hands, Racialized Trauma and the Pathway to Mending Our Hearts and Bodies. He writes about white skin privilege and white body supremacy, and he believes that for us to make any progress addressing the inequities and violence and hatred, we need to start with the body. All of our bodies carry deep trauma, including trauma that gets passed on from generation to generation in our genes. One of my own wounds, and I think now maybe more of a scar, is my sexuality. When I was in high school, and this was in the 1960s in Fresno, California, which was a very different time and place than here and now, my body longed for my best friend, Mary Grace Moon. And after our first kiss, my life became a lie. This is the title of a sermon I preached as a worship associate from this very place back in World AIDS Day in 1998. The title of my sermon was When My Life Became a Lie. And I told the story of my confusion, my fear of rejection, my shameful secret. And I shared with the congregation the question that burned in my soul, which is, if my parents really knew who I was, would they still love me? When I spoke that fear out loud, I broke into tears. And then once I could speak again, I took a deep breath and I answered the question. And the answer was yes. I was one of the lucky ones. My parents still loved their lesbian daughter, and they were still proud of me. So that morning, 25 years ago now, I looked out at the people who had listened me into speaking, and some of you are still here, who I trusted enough to be vulnerable. And on that morning, I had this very vivid sensation that there was something hard and cold that I had been carrying inside my body that started to melt like an iceberg melting, and it flowed out into the congregation. And I felt myself to be beautiful and to be worthy and to be loved. So that is what we can do together, is show one another some authentic, warm acceptance of our differences, and to celebrate that this is a come-as-you-are faith, and that we come into this community both with our wounds, our scars, and our many, many gifts. You know, now that I've read chapter 10 of My Grandmother's Hands, I understand that that physical experience that I just described was rooted in what is called, he calls, my soul nerve. Medical professionals call it the vagus nerve. My soul nerve, which had been hardened with the fear and anxiety and shame of my internalized homophobia, was transformed by the message that I felt coming from this community. The message I heard was, you're safe, you're beautiful, we love you, you belong. I heard the message that is in Mary Oliver's poem, Wild Geese. You do not have to be good. You do not need to walk on your knees for 1,000 miles repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. In closing, I want to share a story that I heard quite a few years ago now from PFLAG, which actually celebrates its 50th birthday this year. So the letters PFLAG initially stood for Parents, Families, and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, and then in 2014, in order to be more exclusive, now they just go by PFLAG. And did you know that this Wednesday, October 11th, is the 35th National Coming Out Day? So here's the story. There was a family from Kentucky where a young man named Ben made the difficult decision to come out as a gay man to his parents. So he was planning to come home from the holidays, but he wasn't sure that he would be welcome if his parents knew that he was gay. And so he arranged with his sister that she would tell their parents his secret, and that if he was still welcome, she would leave the light on in his bedroom. But if he wasn't, that the window would remain dark. And so as Ben was driving to his family's house, his heart, I'm sure, was just pounding. His hands were probably sweating, and he had no idea what he would see when he got there. But when he pulled up to the house, it was blazing with light. When his sister told his parents, his mom insisted that they turn on every light of the house. So that's what he saw when he came home. Ben, we love you. Ben, you are welcome. Ben, come home. So this is the embodied message of love and welcome and belonging that is the wind that carries us over the desert that Dave will talk about as the theme for our pledge drive this year. So we are all wounded healers in our love for one another and acceptance of all of who we are, imperfect and beautiful, is what will carry us across the desert of ableism and homophobia and racism and all the other messages of hate and fear that keep us apart. So come, whoever you are. Come as you are welcome here. Come home.
Good morning. My name is Dave Rudy, and I'm here with your stewardship team members, Debbie Kaplan and Dennis Rowcliffe, to kick off the pledge drive for the coming year, 2024. A reading from the Gospel of John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Album 2, track 7, side B. The best things in life are free, but you can keep them for the birds and bees. Now give me money. That's what I want. 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 But let's consider, sorry about that. Let's consider there may be other sources of wisdom we can go to. In her first sermon, Reverend Laurel related the Sufi parable about the river that wanted to cross the desert, but was not able to do so. One day, a hidden voice in the desert whispered to the stream, the wind crosses the desert, and you can too. You must allow yourself to be changed and carried by the wind to your destination. Our congregation must also allow itself to be changed so the winds of change can carry us across the desert of unknown challenges we face in the coming year. Today, I am asking you to be the wind. Our Board of Trustees is developing a plan to help restore our church's vision to build a radically inclusive community. Restoring that vision will take resources we do not currently have. The letter you'll receive while we're taking the offering outlines what is being discussed, but these plans are just that, words on paper, until our board knows whether or not our resources are available. So I'm asking you for your support to reach our ambitious goal of $350,000 in pledges for the coming year. This goal is ambitious because it's about 10% higher than the pledges we received for 2023. And we do not take this challenge lightly, but we do take it because we want this congregation, the church my wife Carol and I joined 2 years ago, to be the strong voice of our liberal religious tradition in Oakland. To help understand how important this year's pledge drive is, 12.5 of our members from among our leadership committee and activities were asked to make a seed pledge donation prior to today's kickoff. I'm pleased to announce that the pledges from these generous folks totaled $66,300. I urge you to make your generous pledge early. We'll be tracking progress on our Be the Wind poster, designed by one of our talented youth, Abaya Keats. Thank you, Abaya. It's beautiful. I'm asking everyone to fill out the online pledge form for 2024, even those who have made sustaining pledges in the past. And I'm asking you to strongly consider increasing your pledge to help us meet this goal. So when you go home today, make a plan to submit your pledge this coming week if possible, and thank you in advance for your support and generosity. In a moment, the ushers will pass the collection baskets for your donations. Many of our members fulfill their pledges by mailing checks or texting through electronic banking. You can find links to those methods on the projector screen. You'll also be receiving a letter or a brochure describing this year's pledge drive and the link to the online donation page on our website. That will also be posted in this week's Chalice Chatter. As the baskets pass this morning, I invite you to consider the importance of this church in your lives and to give generously. If this is your first time with us, please let the basket pass you by. Your presence here today is your gift to our congregation. Will the ushers please come forward? The morning's offering will now be received.
So to bless the offering, if you'll repeat after, to the work of the church, which is weaving a tapestry of love we call community, we dedicate ourselves and these our offerings. Thank you for your generosity. And now for our closing hymn, we'll sing verses 1 and 5 of Wake Now My Senses. So if you'd like, you can stand up.
extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Amen.
And this is the day we have been given. Let us rejoice and be glad in it, and let us be the wind that carries us across the desert to the other side, where together we will continue to build beloved community. Thank you.